A bold and solitary bird sings a song of joy. Or is this a siren's call? Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Fort, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will appear in two playlists here on the channel. Number one being the Poetry Discussion playlist, now approaching 600 videos, and number two, the Horror Fest 2024 playlist here on the channel. The poem in question, The Darkling Thrush by Thomas Hardy, and it reads as such. I linked upon a coppice gate when frost was spectre gray, and winter's dregs made desolate the weakening eye of day. The tangled bine stems scored the sky like strings of broken lyres, and all mankind that haunted nigh had sought their household fires. The land's sharp features seemed to be the century's corpse outleant, his crypt the cloudy canopy, the wind his death lament. The ancient pulse of germ and birth was shrunken hard and dry, and every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless as I. At once a song arose among the bleak twigs overhead, in a full-hearted, even song of joy illimited. An aged thrush, frail, gaunt, and small, in blast-beruffled plume, had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. So little cause for carolings of such ecstatic sound was written on terrestrial things afar or nigh around, that I could think there trembled through his happy good night air some blessed hope whereof we knew. He knew, and I was unaware. So this seems, at first read, like a song of victory, like a poem of rising above the elements. This seems at first to be a reminder that no matter how bad things get, you have your nature, and perhaps your nature is to sing those songs, regardless of what is happening around you. But I think that there is room within this poem for something of a darker interpretation. So I want to go through this poem stanza by stanza and look at what is actually going on in order that we take a step back and assume, because this is the assumption to make, that a poem is written in order to be symbolic of something else. A poem is sort of the filter through which we can see something else in our lives. So, I leant upon a coppice gate when frost was spectre gray, and winter's dregs made desolate the weakening eye of day. The tangled vines stem scoreless the sky like strings of broken lyres, and all mankind that haunted nigh had sought their household fires. Basically, this part is just saying, man, it was terrible out. Oh, it was awful. It was so awful that no body was out. Everybody was inside. They were crouching by their fires trying to stay warm. I had to be out in it, but even I didn't want to be there. The land's sharp features seemed to be the century's corpse outleant, his crypt the cloudy canopy, the wind his death lament. The ancient pulse of German birth was shrunken, hard and dry, and every spirit upon earth seemed fervorless as I. So I'm out in the elements, and it's not just the people that are hiding. It seems nature itself is kind of fed up with how cold it is, and even the landscape itself is fervorless as I. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead, in a full-hearted, even song of joy illimited. An aged thrush, frail, gaunt, and small, in blast-beruffled plume, had chosen thus to fling his soul upon the growing gloom. When suddenly There was a bird song, and the bird itself was old and shrunken and seemed weak, but was singing with all of his soul. So little cause for carolings of such ecstatic sound was written on terrestrial things afar or nigh around, that I could think there trembled through his happy good night air some blessed hope whereof he knew, and I was unaware. Basically saying that there was seemingly no reason for this song to be. He was not singing to mate. There was no warmth to, there was no sun to warm his soul. He was as miserable as anybody, but he was singing with such conviction that I myself had to question, am I wrong? Am I the one who's wrong here? And there is reason to be singing. Now, again, that would seem to be that, yeah, this is a song of triumph. This is a poem talking about, pointing to the fact that you have to persevere. And the bird herein is much like our speaker. They are the only two things living and about. They are the only two things outside in this weather. The bird is singing, and whatever it is that our speaker is doing, he's doing it. It would seem some work to make the homestead final before the evening, whatever it is, he's doing it just the way that that bird is singing. This is the nature of both of these individuals. There is some sort of commentary to be had there, if you wanted it, about the fact that singing is in a bird's nature and working is in a man's nature, right? That this man is out there, well, presumably a man, is out there trudging along in the cold, trudging along in the elements, and the bird is acting on his nature as well. But I think there's possibly something else going on here. We point to that thrush, and the thrush is sort of used as a symbol of peace. But is that what's going on here? If that is what's going on here, the thrush as a symbol of peace, peace with what? The only conclusion to be drawn would be peace with death. We're here in the winter. We're here in the cold, both of these things, cold and winter, often used to symbolize death itself. And the bird, which is symbolic of peace, rest in peace, is singing his song fervently among the silence of the rest of nature. So, I think the question has to be asked, is this bird's song the sudden inspiration of death? Is this bird calling for complacency into the ever after? Is this bird's song sort of, there's, if you've ever had a dog, for example, that died of old age, oftentimes what you'll see is that they're really struggling through, and you say for months, maybe even years, man, I really don't know how long Fido has to go. And then all of a sudden, your walks with Fido get longer, and Fido starts running around a bit, and Fido has an increased appetite, and you don't know where any of these things come from, and you think, well, maybe the old boy was just going through some stuff. And the dog's dead a month later. Is that what is happening from our gaunt bird here? And in this, that bird is inspiring our speaker to question himself. That bird is inspiring our speaker to look inside and say, is this bird correct? Is the peace of death really where I should be heading? Is this a siren song to our speaker to lull him into acceptance of the ever after? That's all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel. There's poetry every Monday, and I hope to have you back for the next one.